What's up, family? Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be reading Leviticus 21, 22, and 23. So let's get started. Leviticus 21. Rules for the priests. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell these things to Aaron's sons, the priests. A priest must not make himself unclean by touching a dead person. But if the dead person was one of his close relatives, he can touch the dead body. The priest can make himself unclean if the dead person is his mother or father, his son or daughter, his brother or his unmarried sister. This sister is close to him because she has no husband. So the priest may make himself unclean for her if she dies. But a priest must not make himself unclean if the dead person was only one of his slaves. Priests must not shave their heads bald. They must not have shaved off the edges of their beards. They must not make any cuts in their bodies. Priests must be holy for their God. They must show respect for God's name. They offer the bread and special gifts to the Lord. So they must be holy. A priest serves God in a special way, so he must not marry a woman who has had sexual relations with another man. He must not marry a prostitute or a divorced woman. A priest serves God in a special way, so you must treat him in a special way, because he carries holy things. He brings the holy bread to me, and I am holy. I am the Lord, and I make you holy. If a priest's daughter becomes a prostitute, she ruins her reputation and brings shame to her father. She must not be burned. She must be burned to fire. She must be burned to death in fire. The high priest was chosen from among his brothers. The anointing oil was poured on his head. In this way, he was chosen for the special job of being the high priest. He was chosen to wear the special clothes, so he must not do things to show his sadness to public. He must not let his hair grow wild. He must not tear his clothes. He must not make himself unclean by touching a dead body. He must not go near a dead body, even if it is his own father or mother. The high priest must not leave God's holy place, because he might become unclean and then make God's holy place unclean. The anointing oil was poured on the high priest's head. This separated him from the rest of the people. I am the Lord. The high priest must marry a woman who is a virgin. He must not marry a woman who has had sexual relations with any man. He must not marry a prostitute, a divorced woman, or a widow. The high priest must marry a virgin from his own people. In this way, people will show respect for his children. I, the Lord, have separated the high priest from his special work, for his special work. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron, if any of your descendants have anything wrong with them, they must not carry the special bread to God. Any man who has something wrong with him must not serve as priest and bring sacrifices to me. These men cannot serve as priests: blind men, crippled men, men with bad scars on their faces, men with arms or legs that are too long, men with broken feet or hands, men with bent backs, men who are dwarfs, men who are cross-eyed, men with rashes or bad skin diseases, and men with crushed testicles. If one of Aaron's descendants has something wrong with him, he cannot approach the altar to bring gifts to the Lord, and he cannot carry the special bread to God. He is from the family of priests, so he can eat the holy bread. He can also eat the very holy bread, but he cannot go through the curtain into the most holy place, and he cannot go near the altar. This is because he has something wrong with him. He must not make my holy places unholy. I am the Lord, and I make these places holy." So Moses told these things to Aaron, Aaron's sons, and all the Israelites. Leviticus 22. The Lord God said to Moses, "Tell Aaron and his sons, the gifts that the Israelites bring to me become holy. They belong to me. So you, priests, must show respect for these things. If you don't, you will show that you don't respect my holy name. I am the Lord. If any of your descendants touches these things, that person will become unclean. That person must be separated from me. The Israelites gave these things to me. I am the Lord. If any of Aaron's descendants has a serious skin disease or a discharge, he cannot eat the holy food until he becomes clean. This rule is for any priest who becomes unclean. That priest can become unclean from a dead body or from his own semen. He can also become unclean if he touches any unclean crawling animal, and he can become unclean if he touches an unclean person. It doesn't matter what made that person unclean. If he touches any of these things, he will become unclean until evening. He must not eat any of the holy food. Even if he washes with water, he cannot eat the holy food. He will be clean only after the sun goes down. Then he can eat the holy food because it is his share. A priest must not eat any animal that died by itself or that was killed by a wild animal. If he eats that animal, he will be unclean. I am the Lord. The priest must be very careful when it comes to time to serve me. They must be careful not to dishonor the holy things. If they are careful, they will not die. I, the Lord, have separated them from the rest of the people for this special job. Only a priest's family can eat the holy food. A visitor staying with the priest or a hired worker must not eat any of the holy food. But if the priest buys a person as a slave with his own money, that person may eat some of the holy things. Slaves who were born in the priest's house may also eat some of the priest's food. A priest's daughter might marry a man who is not a priest. If she does that, she cannot eat any of the holy offerings. A priest's daughter might become a widow, or she might be divorced. If she does not have any children to support her, and she goes back to her father's house where she lived as a child, she can eat some of her father's food. But only people from a priest's family can eat this food. Whoever eats some of the holy food by mistake must give the priest the price of that food and add another 1/5 of the price as a fine. The Israelites will bring offerings to the Lord. These offerings become holy, so the priest must not let them be used in a wrong way. They must not let the people eat these offerings. If they do, they are guilty of doing wrong, and they must pay for it. I am the Lord, the one who makes these holy offerings, or these offerings holy. The Lord God said to Moses, tell Aaron and his sons and all the Israelites, a citizen of Israel or a foreigner might want to bring an offering. It might be because of a promise that person made, or it might just be a special sacrifice that a person wanted to give to the Lord as a burnt offering. These gifts that the people bring because they really want to give a gift to God. These are gifts that the people bring because they really want to give a gift to God. If the gift is a bull or a sheep or a goat, the animal must be a male, and it must not have anything wrong with it. You must not accept any offering that has anything wrong with it. I will not accept that gift. You might bring a fellowship offering to the Lord. The fellowship offering might be payment for a special promise that you made, or maybe it is a special gift that you wanted to give to the Lord. It can be a bull or a sheep, but it must be healthy. There must be nothing wrong with the animal. You must not offer to the Lord any animal that is blind, that has broken bones, or is crippled, or that has a discharge, or a serious skin disease. You must not offer sick animals as a gift to the Lord. You must not put anything like that on his altar. Sometimes a bull or a lamb will have a leg that is too long or a foot that did not grow right. If you want to give that animal as a special gift to the Lord, it will be accepted, but it will not be accepted as a payment for a special promise that you made. If an animal has bruised, crushed, or torn testicles, you must not offer that animal to the Lord. You must not do this anywhere in your land. You must not take animals from foreigners as sacrifices to your God. The animals might have been hurt in some way. They might have something wrong with them, so they would not be accepted. The Lord said to Moses, when a calf or a sheep or a goat is born, it must stay 7 days with its mother. Then from the 8th day on, this animal will be accepted as a sacrifice offered as a gift to the Lord. But you must not kill the animal and its mother on the same day. This rule is the same for cattle and sheep. If you want to offer some special offerings of thanks to God, to the Lord, you are free to offer that gift. But you must do it in a way that pleases God. You must eat the whole animal that day. You must not leave any of the meat for the next morning. I am the Lord. Remember my commands and obey them. I am the Lord. Show respect for my holy name. I must be very special to the Israelites. I, the Lord, have made you my special people. I brought you out of Egypt in order to be your God. I am the Lord. All right, Leviticus 23. the special festivals. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites, you will announce the Lord's chosen festivals as holy meetings. These are my special festivals. Sabbath. Work for 6 days, but the seventh day, the Sabbath, will be a special day of rest, a holy meeting. You must not do any work. It is a day of rest to honor the Lord in all your homes." Passover. These are the Lord's chosen festivals. You will announce the holy meetings at the times chosen for them. The Lord's Passover is on the 14th day of the first month, just before dark. Festival of unleavened bread. The Lord's festival of unleavened bread is on the 15th day of the same month. You will eat unleavened bread for 7 days, and on the first day of this festival, you will have a special meeting. You must not do any work on that day. For 7 days you will bring sacrifices offered as gifts to the Lord. Then there will be another special meeting on the 7th day. You must not do any work on that day. Festival of First Harvest. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites, you will enter the land that I will give you and reap its harvest. At that time you must bring in the first sheaf of your harvest to the priest. The priest will lift the sheaf to show, or sheaf, is it sheep or sheaf? I'm not sure. To show it was offered before the Lord. Then you will be accepted. The priest will present the sheaf on Sunday morning. On the day when you are present, the sheaf you will offer a 1-year-old male lamb. There must be nothing wrong with that lamb. That lamb will be a burnt offering to the Lord. You must also offer a grain offering of 16 cups of fine flour mixed with olive oil. You must also offer 1 quart of wine. The smell of the offering will please the Lord. You must not eat any of the new grain or fruit or bread made from the new grain until you bring that offering to your God. This law will always continue through your generations, wherever you live." Festival of Harvest. From that Sunday morning, the day you bring the sheaf to be presented to God, count 7 weeks. On the Sunday following the 7th week, that is 50 days later, you will bring a new grain offering to the Lord. On that day, bring 2 loaves of bread from your houses or homes. That bread will be lifted up to show it was offered to God. Use yeast and 16 cups of flour to make those loaves of bread. That will be your gift to the Lord from your harvest. With these grain offerings, bring 1 bull, 1 ram, and 7 one-year-old male lambs for burnt offerings to the Lord. There must be nothing wrong with these animals. Offer them together with the grain offerings and the drink offerings. The smell of these offerings made by fire will be pleasing to the Lord. You will also offer 1 male goat for a sin offering and 2 one-year-old male goat lambs as a fellowship offering. The priest will lift them up with the bread from the first harvest to show they were offered with the 2 lambs before the Lord. They are holy to the Lord. They will belong to the priests. On that same day you will call a holy meeting. You must not do any work. This law continues forever in all your homes. Also, when you harvest the crops on your land, don't cut all the way to the corners of the field. Don't pick up the grain that falls on the ground. Leave it for poor people and for foreigners traveling through your country. I am the Lord your God. Festival of Trumpets. Again, the Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites, on the first day of the 7th month, you must have a special day of rest. Blow the trumpet to remind the people that this is a holy meeting. You must not do any work. You must bring an offering as a gift to the Lord." Day of Atonement. The Lord said to Moses, "The Day of Atonement will be on the 10th day of the 7th month. This will be a holy meeting. You must not eat food, and you must bring an offering as a gift to the Lord. You must not do any work on that day, because it is the Day of Atonement. On that day, the priest will go before the Lord and perform the ceremony that makes you pure. Anyone who refuses to fast on this day must be separated from the people. If anyone does any work on this day, I will destroy that person from among the people. You must not do any work at all. This is a law that continues forever for you. Wherever you live, it will be a special day of rest for you. You must not eat food. You will start this special day of rest on the evening following the 9th day of the month. This special day of rest continues from that evening until the next evening. Festival shelters. Again the Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites, on the 15th day of the 7th month is the festival of shelters. This festival to the Lord will continue for 7 days. There will be a holy meeting on the first day. You must not do any work. You will bring offerings as gifts to the Lord for 7 days. On the 8th day, you will have another holy meeting. You must not do any work. You will bring an offering as a gift to the Lord. These are the Lord's special festivals. There will be a holy meeting during these festivals. You will bring offerings as gifts to the Lord. Burnt offerings, grain offerings, sacrifices, and drink offerings. You will bring these gifts at the right time. You will celebrate these festivals in addition to remember the Lord's Sabbath days. You will offer these gifts in addition to your other gifts and any offerings you give as payment for your special promises. They will be in addition to any special offerings you want to give to the Lord. On the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the crops of the land, you will celebrate the Lord's festival for 7 days. The first day will be a special day of rest, and then the 8th day will also be a special day of rest. On the first day, you will take good fruit from fruit trees, and you will take branches from palm trees, poplar trees, and willow trees by the brook. You will celebrate before the Lord your God for 7 days. You will celebrate this festival to the Lord for 7 days each year. This law will continue forever. You will celebrate this festival in the 7th month. You will live in temporary shelters for 7 days. All the people born in Israel will live in them. Why? So all your descendants will know that I made the Israelites live in temporary shelters during the time I brought them out of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So Moses told the Israelites about all the special meetings to honor the Lord. All right, and that's the end of Leviticus 21, 22, and 23. It's so interesting how the Bible just continues to repeat itself. That's why you see me kind of stumbling over my words and trying to figure out how to say it, because also depending on the translation you read, and sometimes the words kind of be in different structures, or it feel like a run-on sentence. So sometimes I have to repeat myself and say it in the way that it was written. But yeah, the Bible really repeats itself a whole lot, I guess, for you to get the emphasis of what God is saying. But so yeah, that's it for today. Hope y'all stay with me in the next video. Continue to come back and let's continue to get deeper in our word. We're nearing the end of Leviticus, and so I think we got a few more days, few more chapters, and we'll be on into Numbers. So y'all have a blessed day. Y'all be safe out there, and continue to give God all the praise and honor and glory. Peace.